I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Sound the amber alert. A child could be in danger. The Elizabeth Jane Madison Stacy story. Give me a few minutes. Let me welcome all of my Facebook family and friends to this demonstration. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the chat. Salute to the whole rock squad. Salute to you, him, and her. All right. Now, I do have a special guest that will be joining me on the panel in a few minutes. Now, when I got the story, I found the story very, very interesting. Everybody knows that I advocate for children. I advocate for children, women, and men. I advocate for everybody. But most and foremost, I advocate for children. Now, when I got the story, it wasn't a child that I spoke with. It was actually the parents of Elizabeth Jane Madison Stacy. Let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Let me bring my special guests up. You can't hear me, and I can't hear you. If you could hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. If you could hear me, drop a 1 in the chat if you could hear me. Salute to the chat. Miss Parker, Squeak, Lisa, Tracy. Appreciate that new membership, Tracy. Appreciate that new membership. Miss Coins, Monica, Marie, Top Flight, salute. Let me mute. Born Queen. Let me mute for a minute, y'all. Let me mute. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you on the phone.
But you can't hear me on the... All right, we're going to do this, right? I'm going to drop the link. Can you see my chat? Can you see the people in my chat?
Would it work better if I went through YouTube?
Yeah, I'm going to drop the link. Let me drop this link in the chat. Do you see people in my comment section in the chat?
No. Oh, yeah, I can.
You see that blue StreamYard link?
No. Oh.
Bear with us for a few minutes, everybody. Bear with me for a few minutes while we get the audio and everything fixed. Now, the father of Elizabeth Jane Madison Stacy, the father was arrested. The father was arrested for a sexual assault, not on the child, but a lady that he was arrested for sexually assaulting has custody of his child. And the child is Elizabeth Jane Madison Stacy. So what we want to know is, and the lady, the female that has custody of the child, Elizabeth, she's not her biological mother. So what we have to find out, why would this woman that was sexually assaulted by, and the father's name is Brad Noah Stacy. This is the father name. Now, click on that blue StreamYard link, April. So I see you down there. Click on the blue StreamYard link. So what we want to know is, if Elizabeth's dad sexually assaulted you, why do you have his child? Why do you have his daughter in your custody? Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on it as of yet, but you all down there in the chat and on the replay gang, you all can weigh in on this. If a man sexually assaulted you, I'm asking the women, if a man sexually assaulted you, what would make you want to get custody of this man's daughter that looks just like this man that sexually assaulted you? I may be reading things wrong. But we'll wait for April to join me back on the panel. This is her first time on anybody's platform, so she's new to all of this. So let's just have a little patience with her while we wait for her to figure out how to join me back on the panel. It won't let me do it for some reason. I might have to, because I do believe they were saying that they could hear you. And I really, really want to bring you guys this story, and I really want to get to the bottom of it, because I'm not too concerned. I am concerned about the dad, Brad, but I'm more concerned about the child, Elizabeth. Tell her to connect her mic. We tried that, Miss Parker. We tried that. I tell you what, click back on, y'all bear with me. Click back on the link. Click back on the link that I sent to your phone. Let's try it this way, April, because at least we could see you. And then the people were saying that they could actually hear you, and then you can just call me. Let me set my Bluetooth up.
Bluetooth. Connected.
Hello?
Yeah, just click on the link that I sent to your phone. Click on that link.
Okay, hold on. I really am trying. Please be patient.
No, take your time. This is your first time. Take your time. Take your time. We're going to get it, though. Take your time.
Okay, see, when it says check to see if the mic is working, it doesn't. Like, I don't understand this.
Take your time.
Like, is there a way that I could just stay on the phone with you? And then
Yeah, that's what I got you. All right, now turn your camera on. All right, stay right there. All right, let me get my Bluetooth working. Come on, Bluetooth. Come on. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start all over. Okay. Salute. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Sound the amber alert. A child could be in danger. The Elizabeth Jane Madison Stacy story. So when I first was introduced to this case, it bothered me. It bothered me. And what bothered me was that the child, Elizabeth Jane Madison Stacy, her dad has been charged with a sexual assault. Not charged. Go ahead.
And sexual battery. It was rape 1 and sexual battery.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, Miss April. Your husband, and I spoke with your husband still would say that he never touched any woman.
No. And like, this is something I also want to bring up because my husband, when I first got with him, like, I literally had to make the first move. And in my opinion, that is not the mind of a rapist. It's not. And for someone to make my husband out to be this monster, and he's really not, all because he wanted to take our child and come back and have me be a part of my kid's life, is really heartbreaking. Not only to me, but to my family, because my family's never got to see my daughter.
How old is your daughter now?
She's 14. Or, well, she's about to be 14 on July 22nd.
Are you and your husband, are y'all in contact with your daughter?
Even though that court ordered by a judge, I'm allowed to have something to do with her. Anytime that I try to reach out to say anything, she calls his probation officer and claims that me and him are harassing her and her daughter.
Take me back to when the alleged incident happened between your husband.
What do you mean by that? Because I wasn't even in the state when none of this supposedly happened. But the one thing that I'm looking at, you're going to deny going to a sex and rape kit. But you turn around and put a 14-month-old baby through something like that? Like, what type of monster does that? And you know this man never touched her. And it's been proven in with documents from the courts that he's never touched our daughter.
Where were you at when it happened? Because I'm trying to figure out how did. Go ahead.
With my mom at the alleged time that all this went down. And another thing that people need to also understand, if this woman's claiming traumatizing experiences, why are you going to go on his Facebook, tell his boss that he quits, and grab his last check?
I'm just trying to test my mic.
Honestly, I think it's something to do with my side, to be honest.
Because my chat, they can hear you, but I don't know if they can hear you real good. And I want to make sure that they can hear you. Can y'all hear AC? Drop a 1 if y'all can hear AC. Drop a 1 if y'all can hear her. Drop a 1. All right, so they can hear you. Just low. You're just low. Oh, man. Let's see. I don't know why you can't be heard. Well, we're going to go on with it because they're saying that they could hear you. Oh, man. All right. All right. Let's talk about the evidence. Because when I spoke with you and your husband, there was no evidence. There was no evidence.
The prosecution's main evidence that they're relying on is this child, basically. And it's really sad because my husband was made to do a DNA test. Why wasn't she?
Now, you say the child. What child are you referring to that they relied on for the evidence? What child?
My daughter.
And how old was your daughter at the time?
14 months. But in the initial claim, she stated 2 years old.
How much time did your husband receive?
Well, he was coerced into signing a deal for 10 years in and 20 years out. And he's still in the middle of his sentence. Now, the odd part about this whole case, and I don't even understand, is why is his case file destroyed? If he's still having to do 16 years left on his probation, why is his case file destroyed?
Talk to me about David Prater, the prosecutor.
Oh, that dude has a long history of padding evidence, sitting there, misuse of power. I mean, the list goes on.
And there actually was people of Oklahoma versus David Prater, correct?
Yes. And this relied on the incident with a death row inmate. We got to shout out Julius Jones, because what happened to that man was beyond horrible. I mean, down in Oklahoma, and I don't know if anybody knows, like, certain jail tactics where they literally cut you off from the outside world. Basically, they interview you and try to coerce you into confessions. And I mean, Oklahoma is very big for that. Very big.
I'm focusing on your daughter. At the end of the day, tell us in your own words, why do you feel like she's in danger?
Well, for starters, when my daughter was born, she was detected with a heart murmur. And this woman is dosing my kid with, like, Tylenol, all types of stuff, just to get her to pass out. Because she can't deal with her. Like, I've seen where my daughter's arm is broke. Why was my daughter's arm broke for? Like, I've also seen on her family's page where they're asking about, like, and this is years ago, where she got into a car wreck and apparently my daughter ended up peeing blood. Why did that happen? Like, my daughter is failing school. And it really hurts me to know that CPS is not stepping in. Nobody is taking me seriously on this. And this woman is basically being able to be out here and doing all this stuff, and I'm fearing that my daughter's in danger. Like, due to the fact that I'm cut off from her, I don't get to talk to her. Like, I don't know what exactly is going on in that house. I'm not privileged to know where they live. Nothing.
What's the relationship with this woman and your daughter?
She's her aunt. Half aunt. Excuse me.
Did you ever go for custody of your daughter?
I did. And a judge literally told me to my face that he does not care about my rights and none of this.
Wow.
And I'm sorry that if I'm, like, kind of stuttering, I'm really trying very hard not to cry.
No, it's okay. And if you have to cry, let it out. If you have to cry, let it out. Some would say that your husband being a pedophile and you're still with your husband, some would say that would put your daughter, Elizabeth, in harm's way.
If I had to leave him, and he knows this, if I have to leave him, I will. Most definitely. My kid is what comes first. But at the same time, people can't sit there and expect me to know. If I know that he's innocent, they can't expect me not to stand up and fight for this man.
Right. And
like, if I'm considered his wife and I'm his wife of 13 years, why was I not interviewed? And I could tell you exactly why. Because I did not fit into her narrative.
What is her narrative?
Her narrative is trying to make him out to be a monster. Why wasn't I called when he went to jail? Me and him shared joint custody of this kid. Like, it kind of makes you really question some people when they actually state that they've been raped. Like, a woman isn't going to go into court against a custody judge and make everything out to be about the father and then be like, oh, well, I can't remember how old I was when I got raped. And this is on actual documents.
Talk to me about CPS. Was there a CPS report from you? Did you report this to CPS?
The judge reported it, and when they called me, I explained everything to them, and they said, oh my God, and then I've never heard anything back.
How long ago was
Back
this?
in 2001.
So 4 years, you've never heard back from CPS. And this is the problem. This is the problem with CPS. CPS doesn't do their job. It should not take CPS 4 years or longer to contact you in reference to your daughter.
I know.
What's your mental state? What has your mental state been like?
I mean, I really don't know how to answer that question, because if you're asking if I'm crazy, no, I'm not crazy. But my mental state about everything going on, I cry myself to sleep every night, wondering if my daughter's okay.
All right. Your daughter is 14, correct?
She's about to be 14.
She's about to be 14. What grade is your daughter in?
I don't even know that. I'm not privileged to know anything when it comes to her.
Is she in elementary school? Would you believe to her that she would be in elementary school, but just don't know what grade?
I mean, if she's not in elementary school, my belief is she's right in the beginning of middle school. Because in 2003 or 2023, she was in an elementary school. And I did my investigation on all that. I'm sorry to tell you, but ain't no mom. I mean, nobody's going to investigate harder for their kid than a mother. And with the fact that this woman's trying to play this kid off, oh, this is my baby. Like, what type of mental state is that woman really in?
What the hell is doing? What the hell is the state of Oklahoma down there doing? And see, of course, with CPS not being in contact with you in the last 4 years, that's, in my opinion, when the child is concerned, that's the beginning of any process. CPS, because CPS has to make a finding and they have to rule out if, go ahead, come on in.
Well, this is my thing. If you have a kid that's really, really scared in their situation, they're not going to talk. They're going to tell them everything's fine. Like, I've seen pictures of my daughter where she's clenching when this woman is touching her. Like, in my mind, what is she really doing to her?
When your husband was convicted, okay, did this woman immediately get custody of your daughter, or did it take a process? Did she go through a process? Did y'all have to appear? Did you have to appear in court?
I was supposed to appear in court, but at the given time, you have to realize I had just given birth to my son. I had physical therapy stuff that I had to work on. And when I asked the judge for a continuance, he said, well, you need to call the people that took the order out. And I asked him, well, you're talking about the people that just straight kidnapped my kid? Because I have sent you where I was begging somebody that was supposed to be around them just to give me the location of my daughter.
Right.
And this is even before she went to grab custody of this child.
Right.
Like, this isn't a case driven by any real true victimization. She just wanted our kid. And now, because she regrets it, my fear is she's treating my kid like she's basically a stepchild. And that's not right.
I'm going to have to ask a couple of harsh questions, so bear with me, and I don't mean any harm, all right?
No, I understand.
Were there any drug use on your part or your husband's part at any time?
When we had our daughter, no. I mean, we may have drunk maybe a little bit of like wine here and there, but that was about it.
Okay. Well, that's good that there was no drug use going on. Can you speak for the half aunt? Was it any drug use going on in her life?
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I really wouldn't be able to know because I don't talk to this woman. And like the fact that the judge actually states in the thing that I agreed to her taking my kid. And like I told you, I begged people, just give me your location. And this woman literally manipulated not only the police department into believing this is her child, but the actual custody judge, she manipulated him too.
Wow. Do you have anyone, any relatives, any friends, any co-workers? Do you have anyone as a character witness that could come and speak on your behalf?
My sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law?
Yes.
Is she available now to pull up?
I would have to talk to her about coming on here.
Okay. Okay.
But actually, to believe it or not, she is one of the character witnesses that I have to a email that was sent to me on her Facebook stating that I would never see my daughter ever again.
Wow. What's the beef? Why do you think the half aunt has this beef, has this grudge? What is her angle? What do you believe her angle is? What does she want?
I believe her angle is she can't have kids, and in her mind, it doesn't matter what the cost is.
What would you like to
see? Why else would you go? Why else would you do all this?
What would you like to see? What would you and your husband like to see to come out of this? I'm sure your daughter back. I'm sure of that.
I mean, honestly, if anything at all, I just want my daughter to be able to see this and realize that I do love her. And that she does have a loving family.
Let me take some questions from my chat. All right. Y'all bear with me. I'm doing things a little different. Mel says, what's her husband's name? Her husband's name is Brad Noah Stacy. Brad.
But if you look up his stuff, it's under Brad and Stacy for some strange reason.
Okay. So if you look up his stuff, it's under Brad and Stacy. Any more comments? Bring me some comments from the chat. I will ask her some questions from the chat. Let me see. Okay. And I believe you answered that. So the half aunt filed the claims.
Yes.
What's that right here? Wait, was the father accused of sexually for the daughter or the aunt? Not the daughter, the aunt, correct, April?
Well, this is what she stated in her initial police report. Is that it was either her or his 2-year-old daughter. And then she turned around to the DA and said it was either her mom or the 2-year-old daughter after he slammed her into the wall.
So she's confused. She's been confused.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm saying the whole reason I'm trying to get his story out is because nothing makes sense in this case.
Mel wants to know if you know your daughter's social security number.
No.
She doesn't even know her daughter's social security number.
My daughter was taken from me by the age of 3 months. And then my husband got taken by him or from him at the age of 1 year and 4 months old.
Did you go for help at legal aid? Did you seek?
Yes. And they told me I abandoned my daughter. Her initial story to the judge about the reason I left is because I went to go find my firstborn son. And please keep in mind, this is also a child that I had to give up to CPS. I was caught at a crossroads. It was either give up my son or have my daughter and son taken both. So I went with the wise decision and gave him a better life. And I don't regret that. The people that have him are doing wonderful with him.
I'm going to read you another question. I'm not sure whether or not we crossed this question, but Nikki Lynn says, I'm confused. Who's the victim and how is he convicted without a clear victim?
Ask Oklahoma. I mean, like, I could sit here and name numerous cases. Like Tommy Ward. He's another guy that's sitting in Oklahoma prison where a Supreme Court judge overruled the fact that there was no substantial evidence to this man being convicted. And Oklahoma was like, oh no, we know he did it. And he got locked up on a dream.
Wow.
Like, Oklahoma is foul.
Wow. And I spoke on some cases like that before where innocent men were convicted off of a woman, somebody saying, I dreamt that so-and-so sexually assaulted me. A dream. Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like, when she stated all this, her story doesn't even make sense. She states he slammed her into the wall, drug her to the floor, into the living room, made her take off her pants. Now, remind you, there's no report of a weapon. And he ripped off her underwear. Now, the supposed DNA that she had, she cleaned. She cleaned with clothes. The underwear that he supposedly ripped off of her, she can't find. And that's in the documents that I actually sent to you. And if you actually look at the lawyer's thing, she's claiming that everything that my husband is doing, like when he wrote like the Facebook post and everything else, that was me. If I'm willing to come on here with you and state who I am and I'm this child's mother, what makes you think I ain't doing it to his lawyer? And she says, oh, I don't know who that is, but if Brad didn't want to lose custody of his child, why would he sign for that? And by the way, I'm the one that wrote in there no contact with the child. And this is your lawyer.
This is just so messed up. They don't, this just, and the public defender, when I spoke with you and your husband, Brad, about his attorney, it was a paid attorney from the courts, a court-issued attorney, a PD. We all know what the PD is, a public pretender. And as I was stating, as we were stating, your husband got railroaded because with no evidence. That's what I was focusing on. No DNA test, no test kit at all.
No. And now I want to state this, okay? I am a rape victim myself. I was 10 years old. My mom never believed me. And the thing is, my husband never even knew up until maybe a couple months before he got out of jail. And this is why I'm taking everything so to heart, because the dude that did this to me at 10 got 8 months in state jail. That is a deal. Not 10 years in and 20 out.
Wow. Wow.
But I mean, like I even told you when I first talked to you, like when I saw you cover the Naziah Harris case and like the Latweet, or I don't know how to say that other girl's name.
Kimani?
Yes. It starts to make me wonder what's really going to happen to my kid. Like, and these are people that were trusted by courts to watch over these kids.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Elizabeth, Jane, Madison, Stacy, if you're listening, your mom and your dad, they love you and they care about you. And they just want you to know that they love you.
Like, and this is something else, like my husband's anxiety towards all of this, like they're pegging my husband as a child rapist. And the women in question are over the age of 18. Like he has to undergo a lie detector test every 6 months. And when he got out, they did a lie detector test with him about these charges. And he showed no deception when he answered the questions. And like he told you, I'm innocent. Like, I just don't understand what drove somebody to be so heartless to rip a child from their rightful parents.
And you know the sad thing, there are a lot of women out here that are like that. Veronica says, yes, CPS, they set traps. I pray for you too. I'm going through something with CPS. Sad, man. Sad. And we seen in the Naziah Harris case, as well as the Kimani Lateef case, we saw what happened. And here's another case. And that's my concern. My concern is for your daughter. And I don't know about nobody else, but even with everything that you has disclosed to us, it don't make sense. I know you ain't lying. You know, what would make you come on a public platform and tell a bunch of lies, knowing it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass? So I don't detect that.
I mean, look,
go
like
ahead.
you said before, there's no love like a mother's love. And like, to believe it or not, I have a wonderful relationship with contact with my baby's father, or with my husband at all. Like, my husband doesn't really talk to him. He doesn't know nothing about him. And I want to keep it that way until these charges are dealt with. And my son always tells me I'm a wonderful mom. Like, I'm the best mom in the world.
Mel want to know, what's the fake aunt's name?
Brittany Stacy.
So the fake aunt's name is Brittany Stacy.
No, she's not a fake aunt. She's actually blood related to Elizabeth. She's her half aunt, but she's on her father's side.
Janet says, you have family that does the same. I too have family that does the same thing. I am a victim of a family member doing the same thing. Thank God for love, because if I have hate, I'll be in prison.
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
She's just saying that because she has love and not hate. We know what hate can lead someone to do. And she's saying that she got love. So I believe she's going to let the good Lord handle it, because if she didn't have love and she had hate, she would handle things and took things into her own hands, and she would have ended up in prison. Brother Nazir says, you have to be careful with CPS. There's cases when they were sexually exploiting children. Yes. You have to come back up on the panel.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Hold on.
No. Take your time. I got you. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. I have witnessed my sister call the DCFC on other family members just to get their children taken, just to put financial her pocket, just to not have anything to show. It's sad, y'all. Salute, Leslie. Salute all my Facebook family and friends. It's sad.
It really is. Like, and nobody understands what I'm having to go through trying to get my family back and to get my husband help from all the lies this woman told. I don't think I'm on your screen anymore.
I got you up here. We just can't see. You good because I can hear you. Salute, Tracy. Appreciate that new membership, Tracy. Appreciate that new membership, Tracy.
And I mean, like I even said, like, you have evidence where this woman is literally trying to pass my kid off as hers. Like, when I sent you all that stuff in Instagram, like, I sent you his court documents, I sent everything. I wanted to make sure that you understood what was going on in this whole dynamics. And, like, the one thing that, and I don't understand why his lawyer never even brought this into effect, is the key witness is having a sexual relationship with this man days before he goes to jail. Why wasn't that used in his defense?
Wow. And how long have you and your husband been fighting? I guess 10 years or more?
No, 13. Almost 14 years.
And
No,
I'm the
no, my bad. 12.
12 years.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. I thought you were talking about like how long have me and him been together, like married.
And I'm the first platform. I'm the first coverage that you guys have gotten.
Yep. And like I'm not even joking with you when I've called every platform I could think of. Wrongful convictions, the Innocence Project, Fight to Stop. All of them are ignoring my husband's case. And like I've said a million times, I don't think of me and my husband as the victims in this. I think of my daughter as the true victim. Being ripped away from her family and having to, like, telling people, well, everybody else has a daddy, why don't I have one? Like, those are so damning things that people need to look at. What am I supposed to do? Wait until my daughter ends up dead or missing?
Veronica says, I'm going through the same thing, but different story. I'm a fight too. So I get my kids back since 2019. Chen says, Innocent Project has several cases and only takes so many.
Yeah, but given the criteria of my husband's case and the fact that it's involving a child, they should be acting on this.
Let me come to Nikki. Nikki says, if you doesn't mind answering, what does your daughter remember or think?
My daughter thinks that her aunt is her mom and her dad is the key witness in this case. And these are both females.
And we were thinking that Michigan's CPS was the only ones that was on some foul-ish. I guess Oklahoma's CPS is on some foul-ish too, because it starts with CPS.
I wouldn't say that all like CPS judges are on foul stuff, because I've ran into a CPS judge. And remind you, at the given time, just like my husband told you, when me and him got together, yes, we did use drugs. I was going through pain because they just took my son. They told me that I was beating him and I was only feeding him 3 times a day. And my son was fat. No bruises. Anytime he heard me, he would scream bloody murder until I picked him up. And, I mean, the CPS judge actually told me to my face that he believes if I got off the drugs, I would be a wonderful mom. And this is someone that has high amounts of drugs in their system.
Marty says CPS throughout all states need revamping. Is it?
It's not just that. It's also the police departments and all the foul judges that are in the departments too. Because until you get those people out, nothing is going to stop. Like y'all seen with the Naziah Harris case, that dude went into a preliminary hearing. My husband never even stepped foot into a preliminary hearing. And that's unusual.
Sheena said, go ahead.
Under the violation statutes for the rape, there is no record found for the violation. I mean, under any law, isn't that considered padding evidence?
Sheena says the whole government system need revamping. Angelique says, I agree, Marty. Squeak says, wow.
And please, I do want everybody to understand that if my husband could come on here, he would, to tell his story. But due to his probation officer having such a tight leash on him, it's impossible for him to actually tell what is going on. So me, as his advocate, I have to do these things.
And I want to applaud you for doing these things, having his back the way that you have his back.
I would do it for anybody if I knew they were innocent. Like, dude, I've left my brother in jail while I had money to bail him out because he put himself there. Which I do want to shout out, God rest your soul, James. That's another story. Like, my family, this isn't the first time that my family has been either under the cops' eyes or under the tabloids with police, or like with things. Like, my brother got killed back in 2021 out of jail. And they're trying to say that he snuck in over 13,000 milligrams of methamphetamines into their jail.
Veronica says, but I'm telling you something. I'm scared more kids because they keep taking them. Yeah, they after these babies. They after our babies. I mean, it's like, come on, come on.
Yeah, but this is my thing. If you're claiming that this man traumatized you, why would you take in his kid?
Right.
That's not biologically your child. And then tell my kid growing up, I'm your mom, and try to instill that into her head.
And see, this changes the game because we want women to come out and speak when they have been sexually assaulted, but then you got women that hasn't been sexually assaulted, and then they make it hard for those women that have been sexually assaulted.
Exactly. And I'm sorry to tell you, but anybody that's truly been sexually assaulted, they're not going to want to go into details about the case. Like, nobody in my family has ever heard what has happened between me and my mom's boyfriend. But I wake up from night terrors all the time. Like, and I feel like somebody's choking me.
Mm. Let me take Marty's comment. I can't really see what she's saying. Marty says, I'm going to have to go back from the beginning of the demonstration because I'm lost on why the baby was taken, how old she was, and who has custody and why. No judgment, though.
I appreciate that, Miss Maud.
I was confused when you reached out to me, right? I was confused when I went through the paperwork. I'm still confused. Like, what the hell is really good?
And see, that's what I want people to understand, like, about his case. Like, what is Oklahoma really doing? Because, like I said, I was never interviewed. With me being I'm his common law wife. But under Texas state laws, due to the fact that it's pertaining to a child, all 50 states have to recognize our marriage as a legal binding marriage. If I'm his wife, why wasn't I interviewed in all this?
Right, right.
And if I'm begging people to give me her location, why would I ever agree for this woman to have my child?
Let me ask you this. Did you ever lose all of your rights?
No, I still have my parental rights. And what baffles me even more, if you're claiming this man raped you, why are you trying to go out for child support on him?
What was their relationship like before the alleged sexual assault? Were they on good terms? Were they on bad terms?
They were basically a brother and sister. Like, I don't know how many times, and please keep in mind, if I can see my husband going to jail a year ahead of time, and I'm begging this man, let's just take our daughter. Let's just get out of here. This woman is trying to take our kid. And he didn't want to believe me because he went to them and asked them. And they were like, oh, we're your family. We would never do that. And the first time he called me from jail, the first words he said to me the moment it clicked was, April, I should have listened to you. Does that sound like a rapist to you? Like, I was never called in any of this. Nothing. I basically got pushed out of her life. Like I never existed.
Was there a custody battle between you and your husband? Who has?
No, it's a child support case, and I never filed that.
Right.
Brittany filed it, and if they do state that yes, someone did come in on my behalf or say they were me, it was not me, because at the alleged time I was in jail on an unrelated charge, and I turned myself in on that charge only because I knew I was going to get 1 day. But I was in a total another state than Oklahoma.
The young lady will despise her aunt when she gets older after she finds out that she is her aunt, not her mother.
Yeah, but a child should never have to find out that way either. A child should know who their mother is from jump.
Mel says, what can we do to help?
The only thing I can think of is please make this go viral.
Can I get everybody to share this and help it go viral? At this time, that's all Miss April is asking for us to do to help, is to share the demonstration to help it make it go viral. At least, if it's nothing else, at least the child, Elizabeth, will see this and she will know. She'll know now. If she didn't know before, she'll know now. And some things, some questions that she has will be getting answered once she see this. So if there's anybody...
Actually, to believe it or not, my son told me at the age of 7, and this is a 7-year-old boy telling their mom this. I asked him, how can you trust that I'm your mom? And his exact words to me was, Mom, when you hold me, it feels different.
Yeah.
Now, in my mind, I really don't know what that means, but he does.
Yeah.
And I've always voiced to him that I want him to be able to talk to me about anything. I don't care what it is. Like, I tell my son every morning, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day today. And I love you more than anything in this universe. But I can't do that with my daughter.
It's nothing like a mother's love. Nothing. I'm a father. The love that I got for my children, it don't compare to a mother's love. Don't know why. But it's,
well, I mean, this is what I'm looking at. I placed my son with my brother-in-law because at the time I went homeless, and instead of my son being somewhere he did not know anybody, I would rather him be with my family that he did know. And my son is in 6th grade. He is excelling more than I could ever think. He's taking algebra 2. Like, these are the things that my daughter should be doing. But I do also want to say this. I kind of understand why you're so passionate about kids, because you have kids of your own. I kind of see where that lies.
you see, because the children, the children have always been off limits. I don't care what we got going on. I don't care what we doing. We gonna protect the children.
That's how most people should be. And like, I've actually literally gotten her friends literally telling me I need to leave Brittany and Elizabeth alone. I abandoned my daughter. My daughter hates me. And I'm like, dude, what is she brainwashing my kid to believe? Like, if you ask my niece, she'll tell you I'm like the coolest aunt ever. Like, her friends even love me.
All right. I got a question for you. Sheena says, did y'all set up a petition to send his case to the Supreme Court to get it reopened and looked at?
I've tried and nobody will sign the petition.
Did you send the petition in the paperwork that you sent me?
No, but if you go on to, there's an account that I started for my husband that says Free Brad.
Free Brad.
Okay. And it does have some pictures of him and his daughter. And one of the pictures is one that I took. And I thought it was the most cutest little picture ever for a mom to wake up to. Him sitting there playing with her, like, grabbing her belly and making her laugh and stuff.
Yeah. Let me slide in. Not a picture, a petition.
Well, the petition is on that page.
Okay.
But I was just getting at, like, there are some pictures on there.
Okay. Mel wants to know, is this happening in Texas or Oklahoma? I believe Oklahoma.
This happened in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And what I don't understand is, if the guardianship papers are in Oklahoma, why was she able to leave Oklahoma and go to Texas?
Right.
And not tell the judge where she's going?
Right. Appreciate you for sharing it, Janet. What's up, Doug? What's up, Callie? Sheena says, what's the link? I will share it out, and I have people in Ohio and Jersey that will sign it.
Can I just give it to you?
Yeah.
And you can tell everybody?
Yeah, and I'll put the link to the petition. I'll place it in the comment section. Is it anything else? And of course, I'm going to invite you back on my show, but is it anything else that you would like to say before we get out of here?
No. Other than I appreciate everybody allowing me to come on this platform and sharing my story. It means a lot to me that it shows me not everybody out here is cold-hearted.
It's always about the children. It's always about them babies. So, and that's what my platform is about, spreading awareness. And I advocate for men. I don't want the men to get it twisted. I advocate for men. I advocate for the whole human family. I advocate for all nationalities. I advocate for if there are a victim, I'm an advocate. If you are a victim, I'm an advocate for you. So if you have a case similar to this case, if you have a case where you or a family member is a victim and you need to help spread the awareness for it, if you need to help get it out there, hit me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Shank Rock. All right. And I want everybody to lend as much help to this case as you all can. I will have Miss April back on the platform in a few more days. I have some homework that I have to do myself, and I'm hoping that everybody else, when I bring Miss April back on the platform, I'm hoping that you all will have some information that can help her out. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. I will leave the chat running and y'all can hang around. Salute everybody, and I will see y'all on the next demonstration. Salute everybody. Why do you think Keefe D is trying to throw you under the bus by implicating you being in the Tupac's murder?
Well, to be honest, I think it's all the conspirators out there or the conspiracy channels that's out there that's feeding his head. I saw that his son been dealing with this white guy. I don't want to call him assaulting like I want to say, but this guy that got a wig on his hair. I call him Uncle Fester. He got a channel, and they've been pushing that theory and snitch no joke and all of them. They be pushing no theory. So when you start listening to all of them, and the PI that the court appointed them came out with this theory with it being on the case for 3 or 4 days, and then they were like, "Oh, it was Reggie Wright Jr. We got." But as the DA and everybody told me, say, Reggie, that's just a delayed tactic. They trying to delay the tactic. They got it pushed back a year. And so, hey, well, we care. He's sitting in jail. And so it's just a delay tactic. Maybe they hoping some witnesses change their mind or die or something come up. But if you're innocent, you want a speedy trial. But if you know you're going to be sitting down for a while anyway, you'll be like, well, it's easier for my people to come and visit me at LA County Jail than it is, or Las Vegas County Jail than it is to whatever penitentiary they send you, because they can send you to anywhere in the state then. So I think that's what the plan is. And hey, give yourself a chance. Give yourself some type of defense.
Right.
So I ain't mad at him for trying.
Yeah. Now I did hear him mention something about the witness. He said, yeah, the key witness is the one. Are you a witness for the state? Are you going to be a witness in that case?
I went before the grand jury and testified to the atmosphere. I wasn't there. I was at the club. I was 2 miles away from where all of that happened. Right. The only thing I could testify to is the atmosphere, just what was going on around Death Row, the beef between Bad Boys and Death Row at the time, and all of that. That's all they asked me about. That's all I testified about. you know, some of the procedures of how they roll and the security procedures and the lack of security or whatever that took place. That's all I talked about. The key witness is himself.
Right.
And then his homeboy, this dude named Dirt Rock, that used to live with one of the guys that was in the car. That's telling everything that dude was telling him, and guys from the South Side Compton Crips. Reggie Wright is an element guy. He wasn't there. How can you be the key witness if you're not there? So that's just people talking and running their mouths and throwing out opinions and all of that. It sounds good for the headline. Who else has a bigger name out here concerning that, you know, that you could possibly throw the blame on? He fucked up. What he should have been saying is Reggie Wright paid me or had me do it. You know, then that would be like, oh, okay, he's saying that. But just to say Reggie Wright, you know, is the one that did it and I wasn't there,